Opeth and Cauda Venenum. Yeah, that's a clown behind me. Not clowning with this album. Opeth's a band that has been on a progressive rock trend, and we're talking specifically 70s prog rock trend since Heritage. This is the fourth album in such an instance. And what we get is an English and a Swedish version, something that's never been done before by the band. Obviously, they're natives of Sweden, and so very unique. Usually, the idea of this has not worked out well from what I've heard. And that's my bro Chris, who you saw in the Slipknot review. Go check that out, please, if you haven't. And Chris is awesome. Ain't that right, Chris?
Chris is going bad.
All right, good night, bro.
Good night.
See,
5:30 a.m. Wake up.
yeah, he's got to get up for my show tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow, bro.
Oh.
You. All right, back to Opeth. Oh yeah, is me talking too loud? Is it? It ain't gonna bother you, is it?
Nah, you're okay.
Okay, cool. With this album though, there's 10 tracks. It's 67 minutes long. It's one of their longer albums in recent history. So there's a little bit of that. 10 tracks. A lot of these songs average over 5 minutes long. So we start off with Garden of Earthly Delights, which is an intro that I feel like is very interesting to say the least. And it's cool. I like the atmosphere the song brings. It's definitely a good intro to lead things into the album. One that it's actually a good thing it wasn't a short track, like 1.5 minutes or something like that. Being 3.5 minutes, there's a bit of time to like stretch things out and kind of move forward, which we get into Dignity, which was the Patriots just scored a touchdown. And it's Patriots and Giants going on Thursday Night Football, but yeah, so leads into Dignity. Dignity is like a powerful march intro kind of going on here. I like how the vibe is with this. You definitely get that prog rock sensation when you first hear the first notes of this. And so you hear Ackerfeld's vocals really showing strong, having some strength there. Like just kind of like working your way into it very slowly. It's a slow march throughout the song. I like the little middle passage of the acoustic guitar, and then it kind of just transitions into sounds like it's kind of like a Pink Floyd vibe going on here. You're gonna notice that throughout this album too. It's like a vibe of Pink Floyd. Maybe you could say maybe early deep Purple. We're talking about orchestral Deep Purple. We're talking about Child in Time, and Starship Trooper, not Starship Trooper, but Space Truckin', stuff like that. We'll get to that later in the video, but Dignity is a good single. It was the second single released. I thought the song was good. It's definitely a good, got a good thing going here. Leads into Heart of Hand, which is a bit of a faster song. You have some riffing going on, some simple riffing going on. I like how it sounds, It's just simple, but yeah, it's cool. It took me more like a few listens to really get into this song because, I don't know, the first half of the song is a bit, it sounds like it's something I've heard before, but the last, third or so of the song, it's really cool. That last acoustic bit, it was really cool, though. Ackerfeld described it as, the song being like, you think about the time you're being a kid, but then, you don't realize how the world is around you and stuff like that. Really cool. Go check out the interview if you haven't yet, but I liked how the song ended. It's a great, surprise. He's suspecting a surprise, so that was cool. We get to Next of Kin. This is where things get back to that Pink Floyd vibe a little bit, and I really like here where at times Eckerfeld's kind of achieving vocal ranges that he hasn't really yet, seems like. Where you have in the chorus part of it, where it kind of builds up crescendos slowly and it kind of comes back down. And I like it, This is an interesting song to say the least. It kind of feels, it's like a slow ambition, a slow atmospheric pace. It actually didn't make any sense really. I like more of a slow pace with some atmosphere being added to it. A bit of atmosphere already with this album. And that's what you usually get with progressive music. You get a bit of an atmospheric kind of feeling with it, not tune, and you get that heavy tune at times, but it all depends on who you're listening to. And we're talking about Opeth here, so. But you hear that through the song, like a Syd Barrett kind of thing, like how Syd Barrett was kind of all into really strange sounds and stuff like that. You kind of get a little bit with that with this, and then towards the end, this is where I feel like the For some reason, it feels like it's kind of a slight bit of early Deep Purple, the orchestral version of Deep Purple. How it kind of just, once again, if you march right like rhythm, very slow, like like stuff like that. So honestly, not a bad track. It's good. I do recommend it actually. We get to Lovelorn Crime. This is I don't know what to say about this song. This was a very interesting track to say the least. How things feel gentle. It's kind of feels like it's in a reality TV show or something. I have no freaking clue to be honest, but it's kind of one of those moments, and I feel like the song's still kind of getting to me a little bit. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm being a little bit too. Maybe I'm being a little too critical of it. Who knows? I like how the song's a bit unsuspecting with the rhythm, the back, just the layers that were added with this song. It seems a bit interesting with how it went. So I will say that. It's kind of like a slow drama unfolding. You know, it's like one of those kind of things. I don't know, but Lovelorn Crime, definitely an interesting point to end the first half of the album. We get to Charlatan next. Charlatan, I should say. A very interesting track. This is where things get a bit interesting again. It gets even more interesting. One thing that's absent from this song is guitar. There is no guitar in this song. A lot of people, I think, will get caught off guard with this. I read it, that's the only reason why I know. There's only bass and drums, basically, and some keyboard. You know, this is a cool song. I like how you have that like jazzy kind of rhythm, like jazz prog infusion going on a little bit. We'll talk about the jazz a little bit too later in the album, trust me. But I like where it's going with this. It's pretty cool. And then, like, towards the last part of the couple minutes, apparently Michael and I think it was Frederick or Martin Axelrod, they brought their kids in and to do those voices you hear at the end. So kind of maybe speaking with, like, as like hollow voices kind of thing. It's very interesting. You've seen a bit of experimentation with this album, and there was like some experimentation with, well, I'm very sorry, excuse me, with Heritage through Pale Communion's Sorceress. With this album, it seems like you see a bit more experimentation going on. So I'll give Charlatan a pass, definitely a pass. Universal Truth is where I find myself a bit kind of lost. Not a bad way. There's a lot going on in this song. It's 7.5 minutes. It's the second longest track on the album, I believe. And there's a lot of different forms in this one. Like there's a lot of different sections. It seems like they kind of go back and forth a little bit in this song. It's kind of like a musical journey, is what Ackerfeld described it as. They were kind of going with something and just kind of turning it into this amalgamation of things, like soft, a little bit heavy, soft, a little bit heavy. That kind of went back and forth with this one. And it's kind of like you are unraveling a universal truth with how it just oscillates a little bit. So that does make this song a bit interesting. There's some intriguing of the towards the listener, for this listener to be intrigued to the song. So I do like it in that sense. Song is growing on me still, so that's a good thing. That's actually a plus, a big plus. Very cool how they kind of did a lot of parts and they kind of put it together as it was like a short suite going on or something like that. The Garroter is next. This is where the jazz element comes into play, big time. Song starts off with like a darker kind of intro, and then you go into what you would best describe as some jazz man got hired to do the song. Ackerfeld said that he didn't want to make it sound like metal guys were doing a jazz song, so he kind of made it sound like Opeth was no longer metal, they were just straight up jazz. And what we got was a cool, simple layered song, which was cool. I liked it, to be honest. And it's just kind of like you're watching a movie it's like a rainy night. Kind of like how I described with other songs. I believe it was like A Liar's Funeral with Slipknot, how I described like that. It was a stormy night with that one, though, so it's a bit different. The atmosphere is much heavier with that one. Like how I described with rainy nights with songs. This is more just a regular rainy night. Maybe a hint of thunder there. I don't know. but you gotta have that little bit of thunder. Why not? But the Garrett really makes things a bit, smooth. Like it just feels smooth. It really does. One thing you do feel with this album is things aren't really forced. It doesn't really feel too forced. It's a bit smooth. You feel cautious during this song. Things feel very cautious. It's one of those like suspicious kind of things. And then towards the end, I don't know if it's a sax solo thing or like a guitar having some kind of effect being put on it, but whatever it is, pretty cool, pretty sweet. It's kind of got smooth, sweet sound towards the end of it. So props to Opeth on the song. Continum is where my thoughts kind of get a little bit mixed. Continum feels like just another song to me. I don't know if it's just, it's more of the same I've been hearing with the album, but it kind of feels like they kind of pulled out an old trick and just with the album, within the album, just kind of did the song. It feels like it's just there to be there. Continuum, not feeling too much on it, just about the same I've been hearing throughout the album, so there's not much to say about it. But with All Things Pass, All Things Will Pass, this does feel like it's a closer. This does feel like it's a final track because of the atmosphere it brings. The notes you hear, how the notes kind of feel a bit darker in the beginning. How you kind of feel like you're ending something, you're closing a chapter to a book. Very cool. Excuse me. This is the longest song on the album. It's 8.5 minutes long. And it's really cool how this song, just kind of closes the album, as I'm saying. And it is cool. I like how the band kind of smooths things out, continues to do that, doesn't rush with it, they keep things simple, and a medium, good medium. Overall, though, Cauda Venenum was an experience. I'm gonna say that right now. Interesting experience. A bit of a trippy 70s prog rock experience at times. Bit trippy at times. A heavy influence from a bit of an influence from Pink Floyd, stuff like that. Maybe a little bit of Rush. I don't know. I wouldn't go that far with it, but there's just some cool stuff going on in this album. This is definitely, I feel like their more ambitious work of the four in this era. This probably is their best one in my opinion. I think. I thought Sorceress was okay. I wasn't too into it a whole lot, unfortunately. Wish I was. It just feels like I just couldn't quite get around it the whole way. This album, I feel like I can accustom more to it, so I will give it that. Right now, it's an 84 out of 100. It's excellent. I recommend picking this album up. Opeth definitely did a great job on this one, I think. The only song that just questions me a little bit is Continent. That's about it. I think every song on here has some kind of nice little thing to offer. Lovelorn Crime kind of felt like a little, I wouldn't say corny or cheesy. It just was a little strange at times, it felt like, but it's okay. Who cares? It's Opeth. They're going to do what they want to do. And if they're satisfied with it, that's their output. That's what they want to put out. Michael Eckerfeldt and the boys, they're geniuses. So I respect them for that. I can trust them. Trust me, I can trust them. I want to know what you think about Cauda Venenum. Please put the comments down below what your thoughts are. But yeah, 84 out of 100. I'm probably not going to change the score, which would make it, it's a good offering. I would say that. Thank you for checking out the review of Opeth and Cauda Venenum. Please stay tuned for more album reviews and EAS alerts on this channel. I do have a bit of content to catch up on, so please stay tuned for that. There's a few EAS alerts I do need to catch up on, including a special one from the Dayton, Ohio tornado. I didn't want to spoil that actually, but I think I might do a review either on Sun's album or William Duvall or Korn. Not sure yet. One of those is coming up next, so please stay tuned for it in the coming days. I'll catch you guys later. Stay rocking, everyone.